Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Baby, oh, share me every wherever you are watching me from. Those three greetings goes to you per your geographical location. I hope that all of you are fine and good. My sincere greetings and honor goes to my followers. Mo amudi mechi, mo share, mo comment, mo suggest. I love you guys so much. Mo na muye mi bibia, mo na muye mi backbone. We are in the haste. Ye wanyama bebre a ye pese ye discuss. Enu nti na ya sometimes individuals bi ankora bi mintumi embo mudin. Nemum eda wo ho ede ma mo nyina na mebo mudin. More especially nansan support bi a mo start say mo aka mumu bi aka mutia bom a mo pese mo de ma me no. I really appreciate it. Na yebedi ehun nkomo. Mechiacha mu biom. Mo a mo pe ade ayeye no. Those of you who love what we are doing, who love the teachings, we appreciate you. We thank you very much. Those of you who has problem with it, but yet still you are on the page watching us, we also appreciate you and we greet you. It's just like two-sided coin. So you are doing your job. It's not a fight. We are trying to build a new generation. The African people that we are. Eno na yedeba. Africa fon say ye nananom nye bajimifo debi ye nananom bre nye bajimi bre debi obiara nim spirituality ensene bibini africani obiara nim nyame obo ade oduma nkoma okontonkori the spring being. Nobody knows him more than African. Ye fire ntuma pa afra. That is one of the jobs that we are doing. Mechiacha mo nyina biom medamo ase any support na mo de mame. I love you guys too much. I am Muhammad Ali Imam Sisi, the third Abrahamic faith, which commonly known as Islam. Yes, it is Islam that we are discussing. Yaka Arabian Peninsula briefly, because without those introductions, when we get into the matter itself, you can't get anything. Nyama bibe skip you. So ye de alcohol. We hum se na land nete. Ya discuss almost spirituality. Ye friend wa ha se bosom sem. Ya discuss the previous video. Ya discuss ama almost spirituality ba ko aka ebe sin ne ye friend bosom ewo Islamic religion muno. Ya ka ho asem which is known as Hajarul Aswad in Arabic. In English, it simply means black stone. Ya discuss it. Ya chiro be BFB. Do not worry. We will go back to it and pick it one after the other and break it down into pieces, especially when we pick the 5 pillars of Islam one after the other and we discuss it. You will know more about this black stone. There is a lot hidden. Nyama ye ka bom ni se na ya hihye no no ye beka ne nyina a kiro me chia mo biom me da mo ase any mo support. Today we are getting closer to what we are about to talk about. Ni aye pese ye ka ho asem kire abinde mu ke so mu gwada tarihi muslim chi da yende muslim chi ke da abinde ke ciki muna son mun kai wurin saura kadan za mu kai wurin. For that matter, aka kakra na yedu honte no ye be discuss bibi kakra randomly efa sources of biography of Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad. Ye be discuss the sources. Those sources of the life and I eba be kan ho asem. And this video munu very briefly I want to talk about 3 different things when it comes to the sources, because sources no eno na ye gina so e dia kasa na nsam bia yakeka wo other platforms so ebinom dwen say enye nokre ana ye ne fact ne nafsefo no na ye be prove wa ha ye ka ma proofs mohun we gonna give multiple proofs to justify our point. We just do not speak. See, let me tell you, you should know this by now. This is the era of social media. This is a curious era. This is the era of people seeking to know. People don't want to believe anymore. People want to know. Because people want to know, when we speak and we give some point, you think we are too dumb to extend that yebeka ade enni ho na da achi obi akohwehwem akohu se enni ho na wa bela mbaste o ka say ejimi sa no look at my face wall o hwe manim a enemy team wo be hu se da bi enyes ye mpese ye be ya ade ada achi bi obi baba be ka so omoboa na wa be disprove you dare not. The least you can do is you bring a different saying that our own you don't believe in it because niayeye kanu ehitiu our religion no nti se wo de no nso ba you are favoring us, you are working for us, na ya ka kire wo say o religion no there's a crash in it, there's misunderstanding adanti two different informations e ka bom nti still nia wo de baba no e be serve you well, so we know what we are talking about. Now the sources of Islamic religion is a different thing altogether, and the sources of Prophet Muhammad biography are two different things. Now, when you talk of the source of Prophet Muhammad, the source of biography of Prophet Muhammad, most Muslims, especially contemporary Islamic scholars, Cramophore scholars now, most of them would like to tell you that the only place to seek the information of life of Prophet Muhammad is the Quran, the holy literature of Islamic religion. This is what they say. Yes, this is what they say. Now, these people are saying this for a reason. One of the contemporary scholars who say this is this renowned religious preacher, the Indian man Zakir Naik, is one of the people that propagate that anything you want to know about Islam, you should go to check the Quran. But let me tell you, when it comes to the biography of Prophet Muhammad, Islam, Quran is insufficient. Bibia enni Quran mu efa Prophet Muhammad ni life. Ni ewo mu no ureti no in percentage ebeye 0.0.2% about Prophet Muhammad's life. Unya wo Quran mu. Enu ye ni edi kan. Ni eto su bi omni say you love to say you want to start with the Quran when it comes to biography of Prophet Muhammad. But when you start with Quran, you are not being fair and the informations cannot come because he lived for good 40 to 41 years before Quran start coming. So when you start with Quran, it means in life 40 to 41 years I will live now. What channel you abo? What channel you abo? I bet you can't see anything in Islam. Now let me tell you this. Prophet Muhammad in Arabian Peninsula in Mecca, the motherland baby ayawo no in Mecca, or a different personality altogether. When Prophet Muhammad moved to Medina, baby o migrate to Koyano, okodu hono so a different thing altogether. In other words, let me tell you this. Prophet Muhammad in Mecca, when there was no stronger army of Islamic religion, Prophet Muhammad in Mecca was one different personality altogether. Prophet Muhammad in Medina with stronger Islamic army, Prophet Muhammad became different. The personality of Prophet Muhammad in Mecca is different from his personality in Medina. Prophet Muhammad in Mecca is a priest. Prophet Muhammad in Mecca is more prophet. But Prophet Muhammad in Medina is a war leader. Is an army commander. There's these two personalities are two different things. It's never the same. If you are well acquainted with history, Ubetini American yase, Asrafo the Kaini, Asrafo commander, on the priest, omunya de kro. Until Prophet Muhammad, the personality of Medina as a prophet, priest, a different thing. O movie call Medina, Makano, o movie call Medina, no. Asrafo betran mushia ya religion Islam enya asrafo no na oye different thing. So when you pick the history of Prophet Muhammad or the story or his background from the Quran, you're not gonna get anything because what are 4 decades above. In one way or the other, ube say anka ube husena eye ya yegeda Quran. Quran anka se na yegeda no. So if you want to know how Quran is gathered, you need to read other things. You need to read other books. So the sources of Islamic religion cannot be centered only on Quran because Quran is insufficient to tell you what Prophet Muhammad is. Now the other source that you would like to talk about is the source of Seerah and tradition. Seerah and Hadith. Seerah and Hadith. Now the point is this. Seerah means autobiography. A discussing obedient life as sem nabakwasem. That is what is known as Seerah. But the first thing that is written, the first thing that is documented by Islamic scholars about the biography of Prophet Muhammad was not Seerah. It is known as Al-Maghazi. Al-Maghazi is an Arabic word which is coming from the root of Arabic, Gazu. Gazu. Gazu means raiding and expedition. So Al-Maghazi means the raidings and the expeditions of Prophet Muhammad. And Al-Ghazu in simple terms is like armed robbery. It's something like that. To invade a tribe, seize their everything, take their women, catch some of them slaves, and take their properties. This is one of the things that are rampant, and it is a phenomenon in Arabian Peninsula. Go visit our videos concerning the Arabian Peninsula. A lot has been said over there. So Prophet Muhammad did the same thing. So the first documented work about the biography of Prophet Muhammad is known as Al-Maghazi. Al-Maghazi means the raidings and expeditions of Prophet Muhammad. Number 1. Ansana adia ye friend Seerah, which means biography ebemu. Now when you talk of the writers and the authors of this biography, you're going to classify them into 2. First of all, the writers and the authors who belongs to the religion, who belongs to Islamic religion itself. Now these people write to favor the religion. The Muslim authors who wrote the books about Prophet's biography wrote the books to favor the religion, to favor the man. But I bet you, omuchuro ya omu favor numponu, nsema omuchuro ya no ebi oho emu yedu. Now what you need to know is that niantia omuchuro nsemu no gu mu na obeji etum se nsemu ni ye nokra ni se. Omuchuro nsemu ni bia odwen hu a wonte ase a wote ase a wondwen hu, which means eyenukre, because these people that are writing are Muslims themselves. Bibi to say Muhammad bin Sant, the owner of At-Tabaqat, Oyekramoni. So when he puts something in his book, not just any Kramoni, or Islamic scholar. So ochro bibi wo ho a ese so ojitum che sa de no ye rare esi. Bibi to say Muhammad bin Ishaq, the first author of Seerah or biography of Prophet Muhammad. a ochro al-Maghazi oye kramoni Muhammad bin Ishaq oye kramoni Islamic scholar ono nso chro bibia esese wote ase na hunu se eye nokore because it is coming from the horse's mouth. Ibn Hisham ochro a esese ohun se eye nokore because it is coming from the horse's mouth. And this is some of the books that we're going to be proving some of these things that we want to tell you about. So when a sources be Seerah cannot be done with. To me, ye Seerah and without any when you want to talk of Prophet Muhammad. So sources no a Seerah. Now another source is tradition, which is known as hadith and technically translated as tradition. But linguistically, the word hadith means nkomo. Al hadith means fira nkomo. Hadith. But technically, it is things that are said to be reported from Prophet himself. Some of his actions, some of his words, things that he did, the judgment, rulings, and everything is also known as hadith. It's also a source for biography of Prophet Muhammad. And some of the hadith goes like this. When one of the hadith book that is authentic after the Quran is what they call Sahih Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari is the authentic book of Bukhari, and Bukhari is a Muslim. When Bukhari puts something in his hadith book and we say it, you should know that yes, Bukhari knows what he's talking about because it is coming from the horse's mouth. The same thing applies to the second one, the third one that follows, Sahih Muslim, which is the third authentic book of Islamic religion, which is the authentic book of Muslim. They also have things in there. These are some of the sources. Quran is in it, yes, but you can't place Quran first when it comes to the source of biography of Prophet Muhammad. Baka ka fara da Quran. Shere ka kai shi karshe. You can't start with the Quran unless Quran should come last. You can only start with the Quran if you want to start to talk about him after he became prophet. That is where you can start with the Quran. And even with that, you can't see anything. Now, these are books and sources that these Muslims wrote. Now, there is other books that other people wrote which are known as Orientalists. The Western world wrote so many things about Prophet Muhammad. That is the second author of the sources of Prophet Muhammad. The Orientalists, they also wrote some. In Arabic, they call them al-mustashriqun, the Orientalists. They wrote about Prophet Muhammad. But the entire Islamic world is against anything that the Orientalists wrote about Prophet Muhammad because they think they are enemies of Islam and enemies of Prophet, so they are fabricating and they are concocting stories. The video is getting to an end, but let me tell you one thing. See, I bet you, the nasty things that the Muslim scholars put in Islamic sources is far, far worse than what they think the Orientalists and the West wrote. But the reason why Muslim scholars have problem with the Westerners or with the Orientalists writing is that the Orientalists wrote with criticism, constructively, but Muslims wrote with emotions. So they just write with belief. Muslims wrote, the Islamic authors wrote with their pen, and the ink that is running in the pen of Islamic scholars is full of emotions and sympathy for the religion. So they just wrote without giving it a second thought. But the Westerner, the Orientalist, wrote with mind, with clear consciousness, and with constructive analysis, and they brought things out of it. Most of what the Orientalists wrote, they pick it from what the Muslims wrote. You put all those garbage there, and someone criticize them constructively, and you are having problem with it. Bokordier. Your trouble is that you don't know what is in your books. And those of you that are reading the books, you don't understand it well. The most difficult thing in Islamic sources is that the language is archaic. Arabic. Meet me again and we'll discuss the other parts. Bye bye.